Hello and a warm welcome to the Federal. I'm Neelu Vyas. People had dismissed Bharat Jodo Yatra when it began, but 4 months down the line, when the Yatra is almost on the verge of completion towards Kashmir, people have started talking about not only the transformation of Rahul Gandhi's image, but also about the larger goals and objectives of the Yatra. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest, Mr. Sudheendra Kulkarni, who is known to be an ex BJP ideologue. He's worked closely with Mr. L.K. Advani, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and recently he was seen walking along with Rahul Gandhi in the Haryana leg. I welcome Mr. Sudheendra Kulkarni on the Federal. My pleasure to have you, sir, on the program.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Feels nice to be on Federal for the first time.
Our pleasure, sir. So my first question to you is, you have spoken to the media as to why you joined the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So I am not going to really ask you as to what made you join, but what do you really feel about the Bharat Jodo Yatra? That did the country need a yatra like this at this point of time?
Most certainly, India needs a yatra of this kind, an initiative of this kind, because first, this is the most audacious political, ideological, and also spiritual campaign initiated by a political leader in many, many years. I don't look at Bharat Jodo Yatra as purely a political exercise. Rahul Gandhi himself has said that the objective of the yatra is beyond the immediate political electoral gains for the Congress party. He is on this mission, as the name itself suggests, to unite the nation, unite Bharat. Unite Bharat across religious divide, caste divide, and all other barriers which have unfortunately got accentuated in recent years. And therefore, India needed a political leader of a certain stature to give this message that we are all one as Indians, irrespective of our religious identity or even political identity, and we must come together. And most importantly, politics should not be used for creating or widening divisions in society. And these divisions we certainly see today, and they're widening indeed. And therefore, for Rahul Gandhi to undertake this heroic initiative of walking all the way from Kanyakumari to Kashmir was something that I felt instinctively is the right step. And therefore, I joined him in this yatra, just as tens of thousands of other people have joined.
But Mr. Kulkarni, do you think that this yatra will have some kind of fruits really, resulting for Congress in terms of votes, translation, and transferring votes in favor of Congress? Do you see that happening?
See, the Congress would be really mistaken if it thought that simply by this one exercise of the party organizing the Bharat Jodo Yatra under Rahul Gandhi's leadership, the party would gain immensely in elections. That would be delusion. The Congress has really lost contact with the people in so many different ways. It stopped catching the imagination of the people, especially young people. And all this happened at a time when an alternative emerged in the form of the BJP under Narendra Modi. And the Congress should not make the mistake that this one yatra is going to reverse the political equation in the country and bring them major gains in elections. Rahul Gandhi himself is not projecting this message at all. He is projecting a much larger and a much more comprehensive message that what India needs today is coming together as one nation. What India needs today is to abandon and in fact counter the spread of hatred especially in the name of religion. What country needs today is not nafrat or hatred, but love and the feeling of oneness. Now that goes beyond the election cycle that takes place once in 5 years, or even if you consider the state elections, then every year there's an election. So this Bharat Jodo should not be seen much, especially by the Congress party, as an vote-getting exercise.
Right. But do you think, Mr. Kulkarni, that this Bharat Jodo Yatra, the way it has begun, certainly Congress needs probably much more than the Bharat Jodo Yatra, as you said. But can this Bharat Jodo Yatra offer a counter narrative to the hate politics of which is dominant in the country presently?
Here I agree with you. It does provide an alternative message to what people are hearing, especially from those who are close to the ruling establishment. In the past 8 years, forces of communalism, force of hatred have certainly felt emboldened, and they are making increasingly outrageous statements that spread hatred, that provoke communities that are not seen to be the supporters of the ruling establishment. And this is not good for India's national unity, integrity, communal harmony, social peace. So therefore, India needed a counter-narrative. And that counter-narrative has come in the form of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So in this sense, Bharat Jodo Yatra has certainly is spreading a message of social cohesion, social peace, communal harmony, and national unity.
But Mr. Kulkarni, do you think that the Bharat Jodo Yatra has rattled BJP, or it has begun to rattle? Because if you look at the BJP leaders, the way they talk, the spokespersons, they completely dismiss the yatra through the fake the fake propaganda. They've said a lot of things and a lot of negative things about the Bharat Jodo Yatra. So do you think that they are rattled?
The negative propaganda for the yatra was manufactured propaganda by what has come to be known as the Godi media. It's the Godi media which was creating a negative propaganda, and that too initially. But as you very rightly said right at the beginning, the very people who were dismissive of the Bharat Jodo Yatra when it began are now astonished that it is gaining so much spontaneous public response. So there are people in the political establishment who are, of course, arrogant. They think that there is no challenge to their supremacy, and even Bharat Jodo Yatra is not going to make any difference. But if you speak to the saner elements in the BJP, in the RSS, and I've spoken to quite a few of them, they are appreciative. They say that it's good that we have someone who is undertaken a yatra which is completely peaceful. There is absolutely no negative energy coming out of the yatra. Instead, there is positive energy that's building up. And that's good for the country, irrespective of whether that person belongs to this party or that party.
But Mr. Kulkarni, that also brings me to the question that when you say that the yatra is peaceful and there is so much of love and a feeling of brotherhood, so when Rahul Gandhi says that, this Bharat Jodo Yatra is to counter the hate narrative, so BJP gets back saying that, look, there's no hatred. So why is the yatra being undertaken? So then it brings us to the question that what are the larger goals the yatra is trying to achieve? Because if there is no hatred, there's peace all around, then what is Rahul Gandhi doing through that yatra?
You see, peace is of two kinds. Is the country in the midst of riots? Certainly not.
Mhm.
Is the country in the midst of violent incidents in the name of religion? Certainly not. Are there terrorist activities taking place in India? No. So in that sense, there is peace in the country. But is there peace in the hearts of the people? Is there peace in the minds of the people? Is there peace and harmony in the political discourse, in the social discourse? The answer is certainly no. Because there is indeed a lot of hate propaganda that we see in the media, in the social media, and that even comes out in the mainstream media. Very
Right.
important representatives of the ruling establishment they feel emboldened to make outrageous statements against some other community. We have a member of parliament belonging to the ruling party who openly says, "हर घर में चाकू रखो, पता नहीं कब काम आएगा." यानी ये जो बातें हैं, does it mean that there is peace in the hearts of the people? Now there are people who spread this idea in their own ways, and therefore let's not deceive ourselves and delude ourselves into thinking that everything is fine in our society. There is indeed need to create a new kind of politics in this country which does not use religion for political electoral gains.
So, Mr. Kulkarni, what you're saying also brings me to another question, that will this yatra, with the larger goals and objectives which we are discussing, is this yatra, or has this yatra really helped to transform Rahul Gandhi's image, or will it, at the end of the day, also transform the way people perceive Congress?
This yatra has certainly transformed, changed Rahul Gandhi's image from what he was projected as earlier in the media and social media, and what the people have come to see him in the past 4 months. There's a very big change. Lots of people who were either opponents of Congress and Rahul Gandhi, or those who were neutral, are beginning to see that he's a leader who is very mature, who makes very measured statements, and who genuinely has undertaken an exercise that is physically so demanding. Imagine, walking from Kanyakumari to Kashmir every day, about 25 kilometers, day after day, in seasons that are hot and cold. It's not easy at all, which means people are beginning to appreciate that he has put himself through the grind of mass politics. He is approaching the people and the people are approaching him. He is listening to them. He is listening to the common people, the farmers, the unemployed youth, the women. All kinds of voices are coming out. And therefore, just as people are beginning to perceive Rahul Gandhi in a different way, I would say that Rahul Gandhi himself is perceiving India in a different way, because in his own life, he came from a very entitled family. and a family that went through so many tragedies. So perhaps he did not have an opportunity to see real India in a way that he is seeing now. So it's also education for Rahul Gandhi.
Right. And that's what he's been seeing it as well. But Mr. Kulkarni, you've worked with Advani ji very closely. And there was a Rath Yatra which was undertaken by Mr. L.K. Advani, and a lot of comparisons still are being made with Advani ji's Rath Yatra and Rahul's Bharat Jodo Yatra. Is there a comparison which one can really make at this point of time, or you find it at two different levels?
No, certainly there is a comparison. And here I'm not going to go into the issues that Advani ji took up in his,
right,
especially the Ram Rath Yatra,
right,
which received unprecedented response from the people of India. And there's a lot of introspection needed on the part of the Congress party and others, why the people of India responded to Advani ji's Rath Yatra in such a big way. I, for one, have always been of the opinion that there should be a Ram temple at Ayodhya. And had it been done in a way that brought communities together, it would have happened in a very different way. But anyway, that was one kind of a mass contact program that Advani ji led. This is another kind of yatra. Now, I still continue to be a great admirer of the leaders that I worked with, that is Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji and Advani ji. But I also admire Rahul Gandhi for his yatra today. So let's not get imprisoned, so to say, in political categories. We should look at issues in their own right, on their own merit, and judge. And therefore, in today's circumstances, I feel that what Rahul Gandhi is doing is truly commendable, and it is nothing short of a tapasya. And therefore, I said, after joining the yatra, and thereafter I wrote a long article saying why I called Rahul Gandhi a tapasvi.
Right. Yes, and I read the article which you had written, and also Tapasvi, and then followed by a lot of politics on Tapasvi versus the Pujari narrative. I'm not getting into that. But Mr. Kulkarni, when you got the opportunity to walk with Rahul Gandhi, what is the kind of conversation you really had? Because a lot of people started talking about you, that probably you might join Congress, you might start helping Rahul Gandhi because he needs an experienced helping hand. So, would you think, or would you have any plans of helping Rahul Gandhi if he asks you?
So I am not going to join the Congress party, and that was not my intention in joining the Bharat Jodo Yatra. I joined the Bharat Jodo Yatra because I genuinely believe that India needs to put behind politics of division, politics of confrontation, and politics of hatred, especially hatred in the name of religion. And therefore, even when he undertook this yatra, I said this is something which the entire country should support.
Right.
And I had an opportunity to discuss many things with him. I am not going to join the Congress party, but I do believe that India needs a different kind of politics, a politics of cooperation, politics of dialogue, politics of consensus. And therefore, Bharat Jodo, in my opinion, should also mean Jodo of diverse political ideologies and even political orientations. I believe that there is a need even for dialogue, samvad, and sahyog between the Congress and the BJP and the RSS. Because we both belong to the same nation. India is one. So when we say Bharat Jodo, there should also be a Jodo. There should be a dialogue amongst all the political parties, all the ideologies. Their differences will certainly remain, But why should we regard each other as enemies? For the larger good of India, there is a need for constructive, healthy dialogue, mutually based on mutual respect between the Congress and the BJP and the RSS.
So what you're saying has very, very good intentions and is something anybody would vouch for. But given the kind of political scenario we have and the kind of name calling and this malicious feeling towards each other, do you think that's really going to be possible? Can we expect Narendra Modi ji calling up Rahul Gandhi and saying that, look, I'm going to walk with you because it is for the larger goals? Do you see that happening?
You see, it's not necessary that a leader from the BJP and much less the Prime Minister joins the Bharat Jodo Yatra. That's totally unrealistic. But what certainly we should aspire for, and what we should all seek, is a certain healthy dialogue on national issues. After all, the Congress party also has ruled this country democratically. The people voted for the Congress, just as the people have voted for the BJP. Both are nationalist parties. I don't regard the BJP as fascist, just as some opponents of the BJP tend to do. Just as I don't in the least go with those in the BJP who says, we should have a Congress Mukt Bharat. That thinking is also a totally undemocratic thinking. There is space for in India, there is space for the Congress, there is space for the BJP, there is also space for other parties. So for the good of India, there should be more and more dialogue and cooperation.
But Mr. Kulkarni, when we are living in times when the present dispensation completely believes in having a unilateral view of dismissing the earlier leaders like Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, do you really think that the scope of dialogue remains? I'm totally talking from the point of view of the conduct of BJP and the BJP leaders. Do you think that is really possible?
See, unfortunately, there's a lot of arrogance in the BJP today. And they think that they are here to rule India forever. That's not going to happen. India is a democracy. There was a time when the Congress felt that they are the permanent rulers of India. What happened? So this kind of arrogance is not good for any party. And therefore, I reiterate this point that on the one hand, the Congress should make honest and deep-going introspection on why the people have rejected it. Similarly, there should also be introspection in the BJP. Are we doing everything right? Now, Atal Bihari Vajpayee or Lal Krishna Advani, they never maligned Nehru.
Yes.
In fact, they had a lot of respect for Nehru. Nehru was not only the first prime minister, he was a towering leader of the freedom movement. And in many ways, he laid the foundation for the emergence of an independent India, modern India. Now, how can we be so dismissive and contemptuously dismissive of the legacy of Nehru, as many people in the BJP do? It's not only ignorance, it is arrogance. And this arrogance is going to bring down the BJP. Mark my words. So therefore, we should, just as Nehru has contributed to India's progress, Vajpayee ji has contributed to India's progress, Narendra Modi is also contributing to India's progress. So keeping this in mind, let us bring all the forces together. There will be differences, but we should, in the spirit of democracy, we should learn to live together and work together in spite of differences. And that is what I learned from Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
But Mr. Kulkarni, would you really want to join BJP in the present circumstances? If anybody from BJP asks you to join, would you really want to join BJP?
I'm not going to join the BJP. I'm not going to join the Congress either. I think there's a lot of space in India for tens of thousands of people who are politically conscious, who want to work for India's good, not to be with any party, but to work for democracy, to work for India's unity. Politics, we unfortunately in India, we think that politics is only for those who join either this party or that party. But India needs today tens of thousands of people who are highly committed, highly qualified, they're big achievers. They should be politically active without being part of any political party. And they should collectively create a lot of pressure on all parties to proceed on the right path. They should be able to say that you are doing wrong. If I am with one party, then I can't criticize that party publicly.
Absolutely.
If I am with party B, I can't do it. If, on the other hand, people like you, people like me, and people like so many others, we are not with any party, but we care for India, then we should raise our voice and say that this is wrong in your party, this is wrong in your party. And this is in fact doing good to both Narendra Modi and Rahul Gandhi.
Absolutely. It's really so delightful to hear voices like yours, but I must say, without qualms, that voices like yours are becoming an endangered species in today's times. But Mr. Kulkarni, there's one mystery which really hogs my mind always, and that is the fact that there is so much of undercurrent against BJP, be it the farmers' issues, price rise, inflation, unemployment. There's no dearth of issues. But despite that, the kind of aggressive victory which BJP is having, is there a particular reason? Would you attribute that only to the persona of Modi, or is there really something else? Probably some magic which nobody can understand. What is it really?
I don't believe in magic, nor do people of India believe in magicians. There are real reasons why this kind of political change took place in India. And opposition parties, and especially the Congress, should do a lot of soul searching. Why the very same people who voted for the Congress some years ago have turned against it. And I think that in spite of people's resentment over issues that you have mentioned just now, the price rise, unemployment, farmers' discontent, there is a strong undercurrent that India needs a party that cares for the nation. For right or wrong reasons, the BJP has been able to send this message that we care for the nation and we care for the main pillars of India's nationhood. And especially, this feeling that many Hindus today have, that for protection of Hinduism, Hindu culture, we need the BJP.
Right.
The BJP has very skillfully persuaded lots of Hindus to think in this manner. They have equated Hinduism with India. And therefore, they are disregarding the fact that India is a multi-religious country. At the same time, there is a need for Muslims, for example, especially Muslims as the numerical minority, to introspect why this has come about.
Right.
And the roots of this actually go back several decades. They even go back to the history of partition. The fact that India was partitioned in a very bloody and violent manner in the name of the two-nation theory, that Hindus are one nation and Muslims are another nation, and Muslims have to have a separate nation for themselves. Now, all that is now in some way rebounding after more than 70 years.
Right.
And therefore, today India needs to once again overcome this divide be it Hindus or Muslims, we are one nation. And going forward, I would like to say one more thing, that we should really reunite not just today's India, but historical India, that is Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, all the people in South Asia. We should come together, not necessarily as one nation, but as one civilizational family in which the minorities in every country are well protected. They can live a life of dignity. Now, this is what I mean, not just Bharat Jodo, but I would say South Asia Jodo.
Absolutely. What about the opposition, Mr. Kulkarni? Opposition hasn't enthused the people in India so far. Do you really see the opposition awakening in some form for 2024? Can we really hope?
We don't see that picture at all today. The opposition is fragmented, and regional parties, they are only trying to keep their own base in their particular states. As a result, at least now, in the beginning of 2023, we don't see a national coalition or an alliance coming up to challenge the BJP, which certainly gives the BJP a major advantage. But we don't know how politics might change in the course of the next 1 year. But it is now time for the opposition parties to do some deep thinking. Why the BJP has succeeded in catching the imagination of millions and millions of people with right or wrong ways.
Right. Congress did try to invite leaders like Akhilesh Yadav, Mayawati, but they all declined that invitation and somehow didn't join the Bharat Jodo Yatra. At least that would have been one instance where we could have seen the opposition uniting through one major narrative. That didn't happen.
No, that only goes to show that many regional parties, they do not have a lot of trust in the Congress party. Let's not only blame the regional parties. The Congress party has to introspect. Why is it that it is unable to win the trust of and win the support of so many regional parties? So the Congress should not think that it is it is the center and all the others should come together as satellites around this sun called the Congress party. Those days are over.
Right. Certainly, they need to introspect, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you, Mr. Kulkarni. It was really a pleasure to have you on the program on the Federal. Thank you so much, Mr. Kulkarni. Thank you.
Thank you, and all the best for Federal.
Thank you, sir.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more interesting updates.